नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Today we'll be going through the verses 14 to 16 from 13th chapter, 3rd canto. Manuruvacha Adesheham Bhagavato Vateyami Vasudana Sthanam Tvaihanujanihi Rajanam Mama Cha Prabho. Manuruvacha Adesheham Bhagavato Vateyami Vasudana Sthanam Tva ihanujanihi Rajanam Mama Cha Prabho. Manuruvacha Adesheham Bhagavato Vateyami Vasudana Sthanam Tva ihanujanihi Rajanam Mama Cha Prabho. Because there are 3 verses, we'll go directly to the translation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri Manu said, O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I shall abide by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. Yadoka sarva bhutanam mahimagna mahambhasi asya uddharane yatno deva devya vidhiyatam. Yadoka sarva bhutanam mahimagna mahambhasi asya uddharane yatno deva devya vidhiyatam. Yadokah sarvabhutanam mahimagna mahambhasi asya uddharane yatno deva devya vidhiyatam. Translation: O Master of the demigods, please attempt to lift the earth, which is merged in the great water, because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities. It can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. Purport: the great water mentioned in this connection is the Garbhodaka ocean, which fills half of the universe. Maitreya Vacha Parameshtitva apam madhye tata sannama vikshagam katham yenam samunnishya iti dadhyodhiyachiram. Maitreya Vacha Parameshtitva apam madhye tata sannama vikshagam katham yenam samunnishya iti dadhyodhiyachiram. Maitreya Vacha Parameshtitva apam madhye tata sannama vikshagam katham menam samunnishya iti dadhyodhiyachiram. Translation: Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the earth merged in the water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted. According to Jiva Goswami, the topics delineated here are of different millenniums. The present topics are of the Shvetavaraha millennium, and topics regarding the Chakshusha millennium will also be discussed in this chapter. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Sri Vashabhanavi Devi Dayitaya Krupabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gaura Karuna Siddhi Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Siddhanta Dvantatharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam bangulangayate girim Yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So we are going through the verses, very beautiful verses. I feel that these translations in itself are so potent. And if we understand the sublime philosophy of these translations, we'll be so fortunate. Sri, in the 14th verse translation, Sri Manu said, "O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I shall abide by your order." So humility, so much humbleness. Here, Manu is showing. So here, it is the perfect, we are in the perfect lineage. Brahma, he doesn't have any personal desires. Just he wants to please the Supreme Lord. Because the Supreme Lord's instruction is to increase the progeny, to create, to help the living entities to go back to Godhead. So Brahma is simply carrying out the order of the Supreme Lord as a perfect son. And in the same way, here Manu also wants to please his father, Brahmaji, by following his instructions. And he was completely surrendered towards Brahma. And on top of it, he was exhibiting it so nicely by glorifying Brahmaji. In the previous verses, when we saw, please assign me some service. How humbly he was asking. And that too, when Brahmaji was in a so depressed state. Because for Kumaras, he was expecting that they will increase the progeny, but they did not do that. In the same way, when even Daksha was also so very well talented when he was trying to increase the progeny, and we know that for a higher cause, Narada ji made them all nice Vaishnavas. Brahmaji is in a so much in need of this kind of help from his sons. So understanding the mood of Brahma, Manu humbly went with his wife and asked for the service to his father. How much pleasing it will be for a father. It is called, in many places in the scriptures we went across, merging in the transcendence. This is the real merging in the transcendence, not unlike Mayavadi says that we are like the merging in the ocean. We are like the rivers. We are merging in the ocean, or we are like the sun rays merging in the sun rays. It's not like that. Merging in the transcendence means the desire of the Supreme Lord, the desire of the Father, and desire of the Son should be the same. The desire of the Father, Supreme Father, is always want his sons to go back to Godhead, so that we are all his part and parcels, right? He was so much anxiety when all my kids will come back to me. And when the son developed the same desire, that is called the real merging in the transcendence. They both will be in the in the same what we can say, same mood. Here, in the same way, Manu is expressing that merging with his father's desires, and Brahmaji was extremely pleased. And when Manu was asking for the help, for the guidance by glorifying Brahmaji, see, you are asking me to take care of the living entities, to increase the living entities, to give shelter to all the living entities. But see the condition of Mother Earth. Mother Earth, which is the dwelling place of all of us, is in a so much pitiable condition. She was thrown into the Garbha of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka ocean. So when it is uplifted only, I can fulfill that mission, right? So Manu was asking so humbly. And here Brahmaji, after listening to the request of Manu, he was deeply in the meditation. He was, it is beyond his capacity. So he was thinking, what is the great decision that he can make? So he was completely meditating. So at that time, we will come to know in the later verses how Supreme Lord understood the mood of Brahma. He is Antaryami. He is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Immediately he came into the action. So what we can understand is, when we understand the mood of the Supreme Father and follow the instructions, whatever the problem comes, even it is beyond the capacity, Supreme Lord will give all the facilities, and he will help us to execute the mission. Even after, suppose we are Srila Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada is the 33rd Acharya in our lineage. Even after millions of generations, if we have that same merging mood, same humble mood to follow the instructions, to follow the mood of Supreme Father, at any time, at any place, at any circumstance, Supreme Lord, he is sitting as the Paramatma, he will accommodate all the necessities. If at all, if that is not also sufficient, he himself will appear, or either as the direct avatara, or he will empower. He will come as Satyavesha avatara. In the same way, for the same purpose, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared on this planet, he was completely in that same mood, how to carry forward, how to fulfill the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And at that time, it was the whole country was in a hopeless situation. Already Britishers were ruling, and before that Mohammedans were ruling. So everyone is trying to dilute the whole Varnashrama culture, whole Vaishnava culture, and there are lot of pseudo Mayavadis, pseudo Sahasyas. At that time, he was vigorously trying to establish Lord Chaitanya mission by finding the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, by trying to establish the Yoga Pit. So when he was doing all this, he was so much in anxiety. Who will carry forward this mission after me? He has 10 sons, at that time 9 sons. He was desperately looking for a ray of Vishnu, because he already knows that in this Kali Yuga already Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and if at all Lord has to come, it will take the end of Kali Yuga for the Kalki Avatara to appear. So he doesn't want to disturb any more Lord to appear directly, but he was asking for the ray of Vishnu, for the simple glance of Vishnu to carry forward his mission, who will take up that mood. So at that time, understanding the mood, because in the same mood, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as here Lord Brahmaji is worrying, as so much compassionate, how to increase, how to help these living entities. In the same way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in same hopeless condition and so much compassionate and begging for the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because it is only his causeless mercy can provide something, some ray of hope. So when he was deeply, intensely praying, at that time, Vimala Prasad, the Prasad of Vimala Devi, was appeared for Bhagavati Mataji and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And as a indication, when during the Radha Yatra, when Radha Ghat was stopped in front of their house, on top of it, Lord was showing personally that indication. He is my Prasad, by dropping out the garland. So, and later on, when Vimala Prasad was growing, he was exhibiting from the childhood the relation between Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was so sweet. And from the childhood, he was exhibiting that humble attitude towards Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He was in like same way here Manu was expressing. He was showing a lot of devotion. Out of all the 10 kids, Vimala Prasad is so humble, understanding the mood of his father, always wants to serve his father so nicely in a perfect way, in a real humanity. You can say it is the real humanity. The same his father was exhibiting. And Vimala Prasad likes his father so much. One time, his guru, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's guru, Bipin Bihari came. He was invited by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur was offering obeisances, Bipin Bihari blessed him with his feet, keeping on the head of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so humble, he paid his obeisances and went inside to serve his guru. But Vimala Prasad likes his father so much, he couldn't tolerate it. And he was so bold, asked Vipin Bihari, how can you do that? Maybe you are Guru, but do you know who is my father? He is a great Nitya Siddha. How can you do that? He couldn't tolerate. And later, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur came there, Vipin Bihari complained, your son is so bold. He was complaining to me like this. He was questioning me like this. Then he asked forgiveness, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur later said to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. And later also, when seeing these so many pseudo philosophers, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so much worrying. Always he wants to be the shoulder for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. How can I serve my father? How can I serve my father? So at one time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was not feeling well. At that time, there was a debate going on between these Madha Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. At that time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked, at that time he was honored, but Vimala Prasad was honored because he was a Sanskrit scholar at that time, erudite scholar. He was honored with the name Siddhanta Saraswati. So Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur requested Siddhanta Saraswati to go and handle the debate. He was extremely happy to carry out the order of his father. And when he went there, he did a wonderful job. It was a 3-day session. First day he supported the Brahmanas, and they are also pleased, so much pleased. And second day he said that how nowadays these Brahmanas are falling down. And in the third day he said that how Vaishnavas are eternally to be glorified, how Vaishnavas are much greater than the Brahmanas. Then everyone was so much convinced, everyone was offering obeisances at a small age, at a young age, how proficiently he was handling both Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. It is so pleasing. Nobody is feeling envious or something, but he made an argument in such a way that everyone unanimously clapped and appreciated. And like that, there are many instances how he showed, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati showed his humble nature and surrenderance towards his father. Later, one time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is always also wants to get rid of all his duties, government duties. So he got a land in the Jagannath Puri, and he built a small bhajan kutir there, and all the three, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his wife, and Siddhanta Saraswati. At that time, they were doing bhajan. He was writing books, lot of books. At that time, there is one Babaji used to come and attend Bhaktivinoda Thakur's lectures. Later, I could not understand the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he could not receive the potency, means receive the benefit of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the mood of Hare Krishna Mantra, how it has to be chanted, how it has to be delivered to all the living entities. He was understanding that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is great, okay, but we should not chant it loudly. So, and doing kirtan, they have to chant loudly, right? So at that time, what he did was that Babaji, so-called Babaji, he changed that mantra and he started singing that Nittai Gaura Radhe Shyam Hare Krishna Hare Ram, Nittai Gaura Radhe Shyam Hare Krishna Hare Ram. So it sounds nice, but it is not the perfect way. It is not he is not authorized, first of all, to change the Mahamantra like that and to give the Mahamantra to everyone like that. So it caused a lot of pain to both Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So they were trying to protect like in a like a glass vase, so delicately, without any alterations, without any modifications. They both want to pass on Lord Chaitanya's message as it is. They started preaching that no, this is not the way. When that Babaji was introducing this, modifying the change, the material world tendency is like that. They always want something to modify, something to alter, something new, something so-called nonsense. They want to add everything in everything. Whereas these two great souls, they started preaching against that. So they see this is not the way to chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always wanted to chant the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we should not change that one. Then many people wanted to go against Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. See the pity situation. They too want to deliver these souls, fallen souls, but they started becoming envious and they started revolting against these two souls. Then they felt it as lot of disturbance, and again they came to Bengal, and they came to Ranghat. After that, they came to Godramudrip. So like that, they both were carrying this mission. And after some days, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur left this planet, and sorry, one more point I want to address. And because of this surrenderance, how much he likes his father, means Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. He is a great scholar. He is like a spiritual Vedantist. He knows everything, each and his profound English, everything. He is expert in all the philosophy, everything. And on top of it, he is a great exalted Vaishnava. Just to follow the instruction of his dear father, he accepted Gaurkishore Das Babaji. He is an illiterate. He looks so simple. At that time, there was no good impression on the Babajis because they were breaking all the regulative principles. But still, Bhaktivinoda Thakur knows the greatness of Gaurkishore Das Babaji. And he said that you have to take initiation from this Babaji, Gaurkishore Das Babaji. That's it. Just one line statement. He took to the heart. Even Gaurkishore Das Babaji rejected Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati so many times. He was at the back of him again and again, and he was ready to leave his body also. And so that is the mood of the son, ideal son. He was exhibiting as a ideal son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And then he kindly agreed. Gaurkishore Das Babaji kindly agreed, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was extremely happy. Now he has two gurus, his own father and his spiritual master. And he was extremely happy. He was so much empowered. But all of a sudden, when they both left the planet, it's like he was in an extreme separation. He was crying. For 9 years, 9 years he was doing Kathor Tapasya of chanting 192 rounds, 3 lakh names every day. He was crying. Why? I am not qualified for anything. I am enough. I cannot do anything. I don't have anyone. Just let me stay here only. Let me chant. I am not qualified more than this. When he was in great separation, all the acharyas, along with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, see, when that is the mood. Even after many generations, Lord personally comes and empowers. So in the same mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the acharyas appeared and they guided. We are all with you. Don't worry. Now this is the time to start your mission. Please go forward, go out and start the mission. So then he got all the strength and ready to execute the mood, the mission of his father, his guru, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And there was no stop after that. He was sufficiently equipped physically, mentally, devotionally, spiritually, in all the means. And now we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam like this, means it is the mercy of all those great acharyas. We are so much indebted. We are so much indebted to all of them. Let's humbly beg for their mercy to carry out this mission. In the life of Srila Prabhupada, all the double numbers like 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, all these numbers had a significant, all these years had a significant role. In the same way, we are in 2022. Yesterday, we saw the grand opening of Ulta Danga. It is a great offering by all the great exalted Vaishnavas. In the same way, something miracle has to happen, and let's all be the instruments in the mission of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada, and serve their lotus feet, at least to some extent. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mother. Okay, we'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai
Jai Narsingha, Shri Narsingha, Jai Jai Narsingha, Galadesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma, Bringa, Ugram Veeram, Mahavishnu, Salantam, Sarvotam, Narsingham, Bhishanam, Bhatram, Mrityum, Namayaham.
Narsingha Bhagwan ki
Jai.
Raj Maharaj ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
That's all for our humble obeisances. The lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas, one
Chakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
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 Jai. Hari Bol.
Thank
you, Kali.
Thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Bol.
Thank you, everybody.